ban there, being an armor-based champion, that actually might be helping to enable the Riven pick there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to knock out a lot of initiation as well. We'll have to see what kind of comp they put, but I like that call on that for the Riven. We'll have to see what they do. There's the Kha'Zix as well. The Nidalee goes out.
But Evelynn is up, right?
Evelynn
So like
is
you've
up,
got
right, as you pointed.
you've got a couple of really important picks there because you've got Riven, which is a really big important one. They're actually just going to go with the Olaf and not even care. So I don't know, Hazard with his kind of surprise there in the first place. I mean, Nunu and Evelynn are both up, and Arthalon, to my knowledge, plays everything. He just plays everything. We've seen him crush on Kha'Zix before. I can assume pretty well that he's going to be able to play Evelynn quite well himself. And there it is, Nunu and Evelynn. Those are going to be the options here. I'm expecting the lock-in, and there it is.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I've really only seen Arthalon go for those AD casters in mid, that Nocturne, Zed coming in with also Kha'Zix, but banned out on that Kha'Zix. So they are going to still go for a burst assassination mid. We'll see what the comp comes out after that. That Olaf is going to help for a bit of initiation and fight control for DNG. We'll have to see what they can bring as well to a possible poke composition.
Well, they've got Sona at Misfortune available there. We saw them fight against such a composition.
Yeah.
You know, last time Meat Playground actually ran one themselves, an area of effect focused composition. You know, seeing that twice now in the tournament, it is a very good sort of team lineup. It's something we've seen actually quite a lot in Korea. They've run Kale a lot to actually make Misfortune not die in the team fight while channeling, or you'll see guys like Sona or Zyra set those up with the area of effect lockdown. You know, but actually this is looking much more like their previous lineup here. They actually had the mid Jace there from probably last time.
Yeah, that was really effective, especially for lane movement as well. Jace can push that lane with a shock blast and just change forms for free and head top or bottom so quickly, and it's really can catch a lane off guard.
It's going to be
Great
pretty good. You know, in poke comps, they are very, very good. Najin's Sword, I believe, runs a similar sort of poke comp where they run that mid Jace. It's a very good setup. It gives you a lot of options. I mean, it could be top Jace as well. You can run Olaf in the jungle. All
right, and a possible SAT question. MF is to Amumu as Caitlyn is to Nunu.
Yes, indeed, and the Caitlyn immediately locked in. That's just, it's a very, very good setup. And right off the bat, this says two things. One, your lane's going to be really, really hard to deal with. Dirtnap Gaming is going to have a bit of a rough time dealing with such a long-ranged AD carry, but it also means the game is on a bit of a clock. Nothing really out-damages Nunu Caitlyn late game.
Right.
And, you know, with guys like Nidalee dropped off the map as well, there's no other, like, attack speed buffs, major buffs for an AD carry, so outside of something like Janna Kog'Maw, you know, and of course they've got Sona here, so sure, like Sona Kog'Maw, I don't think they'd have a very good time in lane. They'd be similarly good late game, but it's still not the best thing.
So far, Dirtnap Gaming Freak has a bit of that poke comp. Evelynn's required to go in, Nunu, Cho'Gath required to go in, so they're kind of negating the fact that they're going to use that Caitlyn right now. They're able to keep their distance, we'll have to see what else they come up with.
Well, you know, honestly, I would kind of expect to see the poke still going through. Olaf's got the undertow. You've got sustain with Sona. I like the idea of going poke-based. Ezreal makes a lot of sense here. You know, you can either go counter initiation or hardcore initiation. Both kind of work out. Actually, Ian Graves, they did play him last time. I'm just kind of curious to see what they go for here. They're waiting for the last possible second to pick that last champion, and it's a Nocturne. The thing is, I paused for a second because it's normally jungle Nocturne, but
it could be
I've
Nocturne
seen
jungle.
Nocturne.
It could be it could be Nocturne jungle. That is one of Prowly's mids.
Yeah. Okay. So
as well as Arthalon, so he may be trying to play it against.
They're pretty much not even swapping champions at this point. Then that whole 5-on-5 team. And it's a weird mix of champions. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. It's very physical damage heavy, which is fine. Black Cleaver is just great in general. But you're pretty much all in. Like you're poking until you go all in. That's pretty much what that's about. So, okay, last pick here for Meat Playground. They need a top laner or a jungler at this point. I don't know. It could really be either one. If they want a lane swap, which, I mean, they really could do here. Cho'Gath's a good 1v2, and they could just grab a jungler.
This is super AD. I'm really surprised they didn't go with a somewhat Katarina composition or a reset. I mean, the Kha'Zix is out, which would have been perfect for this. But like you said, they're all in. But once they're all in and they kill one person, it's slow focus to the next. They're all in to wait for the rest of the team to come. They have poke, right? So then they have to dive in. It seems like this composition is almost kind of kicking itself.
It's interesting because so there is no sustain here on this Meat Playground lineup. They get the long range damage out there. You can kind of long range damage from Graves. You're mostly relying on Crawley. And honestly, to be fair, the Jace versus Evelyn matchup is really good for Jace. It's
right.
not
yeah,
going to be
matchup
easy.
itself. Yeah, I was looking at team fight.
Of course,
right.
no, of course. As far as team fight goes, you're kind of kicking yourself a little bit there. That's absolutely true. But any kind of a poke comp is a mid-game comp, right? Which is like the biggest window they have before Caitlyn completes more than one big item. You know, Blood Boil's nice, but basically, you know, what I see this year for the blue team, for Dirtnap Gaming, is mid-game power.
Right.
You've got really good gank pressure. You've got a lot of burst from everyone on this lineup.
Explosion
Chris
at
on
6.
Olaf. Exactly. You have an explosion on 6, an explosion on 11. Olaf, Nocturne, Jace, Graves, Sona. They're all really good at taking someone down
That's a great
in
point.
like 2 seconds. And so anyone that they go for, that guy's probably going to drop unless it's like a farmed Cho'Gath. Meet Playground, they're like, okay, we're pretty good early on. Some of our lanes are a little bit weak, but late game, we're going to say Caitlyn. And just the word Caitlyn is enough. Like, that just kind of dictates what they're going to be able to do late game. Evelyn's going to scale pretty much infinitely. You know, percent of your max health area of effect damage on an ultimate is going to always be relevant no matter what happens at all times. And that's a very good place for them to be in. You've got quite a bit of early game pressure. Lee Sin, Cho'Gath. Lee Sin in the jungle. Cho'Gath is going to be the top laner here for X Hazard. And, you know, again, a new Caitlyn lane is just very, very strong. It's the mid game here where 20% of your health isn't different from any other ultimate in the game.
Right.
And that's where the kind of spike comes in from the other side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in to Game 3 of Group 2 is the other game going on as well. Both are being played back-to-back, so make sure you get those on both of your screens if you're watching. Dirtnap Gaming versus Meet Playground. Meet Playground coming through 1-0, as well as Dirtnap Gaming as they face off here to get actually that 2-1. Going to be big for Dirtnap Gaming if they can grab it. The 2-0 will be great momentum into the second day for Meet Playground.
Okay, let's see what these guys can do. Yeah, these teams looking for their second win of the day, man. This game, I mean, again, it just means the quarterfinal matchup. For those of you who didn't watch the extended pregame show, a win here means a spot in the top 8. This is huge for these guys. Dirtnap Gaming looking aggressive early on.
Cho forced out. Yeah, this is the first time we've really seen it. But like we said, the second game, teams feel a bit more comfortable, and they're going to do a little bit more. So instead of that Wraith Ward that we usually see, they're going to be putting it down at blue. That's
this is
early aggression here. It looks like they know they're going towards blue, so they're going to wait for the comeback.
This is really, really tricky by DNG. This is a good gambit here. They obviously, like, and the word here is obviously, they obviously invade blue to make the team know they're going, and they turn back around to try to catch the other team doing this. This is the kind of thing that actually Epic Gamer said they wanted to do against GGU, which was, you know, let the invade come in and counteract based off of it. The Spear Hood is on both sides, by the way. Just look at the player cams. You got the wolf, or the bear, if you say, and the chicken on the other. That's OP.
It's a certain kind of hat. It's not a chicken. But we'll say it's a chicken for now.
Oh, what is it?
I forgot what he called it.
Oh, it's okay. Meanwhile, though, Meet Playground, though, like full on, they're getting the free invade on blue, and Chris is about to spot them.
He is not going to be happy here. I don't think the Undertow actually saw it. He goes to grab his axe and finds the snowball from Lemon God. He'll walk away from this one. Yep. And it looks like he will lose a little bit more of his jungle, though. They will not have positioning to pull everybody out of lane to get this.
Yeah, looks like no one's really around. Probably is coming by, but they're still outnumbered completely.
So a slow push here. X Hazard waiting for his, and you can see they're kind of trying to bait that into a fight here. Graves going in with Nocturne. They are going to get the blue onto DNG's side, but here comes the invade. Cho'Gath, X Hazard does not see them coming up, and they go for the steal as well. So they kind of even each other out there.
Yeah, okay, so trading 1-for-1 is nice. Actually, probably had a very, very close attempt there. You know, Lee Sin thought he could outlast hit there with Resonating Strike. He was correct there, but, I mean, he very nearly got that stolen away by Probably, and it would have just been, like, the best opening ever for these guys.
So NK Inc. a little bit faster ahead now, has that red buff. Looks like he is actually going to go back for Wolves for the quicker attack on 3, and we may see him in lane quite fast. The swap coming in, Freak. We'll start with that. It's going to be Olaf versus Caitlyn Nunu, very strong on the poke. And it's going to be Cho'Gath versus Sona Graves.
So I actually really like this for Dirtnap Gaming overall. Now, both Olaf and Cho'Gath are good 1 vs 2 champions, but you're seeing Olaf completely not get pushed. He's last hitting okay with Undertow, but he's almost never going to lose his turret. You're seeing no pushing coming out at all from Meet Playground. Meanwhile, Graves Sona is all about the aggression. It's buckshot, it's, you know, chugging potions and just going for damage output. In fact, 4 crystalline flasks on that team. There's a lot of sustain there. They're going to keep shoving here, Dirtnap Gaming. They could get a pretty quick turret kill against X Hazard.
They have great pressure on this bottom lane, so the rest of the map may be thinking that's where Lee Sin's focus is going to be. May see Nocturne head towards the top after this to help out Olaf, we just saw Chris throwing his axes, laughing in the air. He's having fun time in the lane. They're going to finally pick this up to reset on that blue. It's going to come up a little bit later than usual. But yep, we see now Nocturne heading towards that top.
Okay, there we go. So the first sort of gank coming in here. This is normally the time where you expect to see a 3-on-1 sort of tower dive. And in fact, you're seeing both junglers play the defensive role on that side. And in fact, they're going to go in on Lemon God.
Here it is. Lemon God getting taken down. The bottom is not ganked yet, and it's going to be a quick one. There goes a reckless swing, and it's going to be enough damage to take him out. First blood to Chris. Balls for the flash, the Peacemaker to answer. The second kill could come down for them as we flash down to bottom here. Balls does go down. Hazard now trying to help NK and get this kill. The Resident, or the Q, missing, and they're able to pick up the kill. The turn now, and this is going to turn around perfectly for Dirtnap Gaming. They put themselves in the lead, a possible 4-1, and there it is.
Wow, would you look at that one. Beautiful play. Dirtnap Gaming buying just enough time. The Sonic Wave just missed from NK Inc. That would have been a kill and turned the fight around completely, but because Echo was alive, you look at his health bar practically full again. Profit the heals all
got
day.
That double buff too. That is going to be so hard for that bottom lane, especially for the 2v1 switch.
And meanwhile, you can see this mid lane, despite me calling it as a better lane for Jace, it's pretty much equal actually, 27 to 25 in minions. Arthalon, you know, right now I'm calling him the MVP of Meat Playground. He seems to be just on fire this whole time. He is keeping up in what I thought was going to be a really brutal lane.
And there we are, the 5-minute turret going down. We'll probably see the lane swap back to normal now. Caitlyn and Nunu will find themselves against Sona and Graves in just a few minutes, depending on how comfortable they feel in that lane. If they can keep pushing Cho'Gath out, I'm sure they'll stay.
Exactly. They want to go ahead and actually, at this point, if you're the double lane, you almost want to swap back and say, we got a turret kill. Yeah, switch that one right back on over. Go for the 2-on-2 there. The thing is, normally Nunu Kate's a kind of a brutal lane to deal with, but Graves is up 15 minions and extra assists, so he's actually ahead of Caitlyn. They hit 2-on-2 and win straight up.
They did a really great job with the ganks and also making that top one happen faster, especially with the counter gank. Nocturne was a little behind on his red as well, so to come out first, that's big for DNG, and they really set up that bottom gank to happen well, knowing where the jungler was. 4-1 now at 6 minutes into the game. That gold lead is actually quite significant already. It was a 1,000 gold lead for quite some time between Meat Playground and Falafel in that first game, but it's already about 2.3k ahead in favor of DNG. And we all know in these games that first 10 minutes can actually go in anybody's favor. After Balls taking a bit of damage there, looking for more harass, and we can see the poke coming in as he's called it, Freak. Lanes are back to normal up top.
And there we go. Well, it's back to normal, and except that it's, you know,
up top.
The 2-on-2 lane is actually in the top lane this time, so no team has much dragon pressure. Nice dodge there. Chris, though, he's still getting jumped on.
Oh, trying to be a bro. Chris trying to get out of this one. Undertoes backwards, but he leaves himself in the rupture for just enough time. They have a lot of stick, but it looks like he's going to... Oh, nope, never mind. Here comes Arthalon. Arthalon, if he has anything to say about it, helps, gets the assist, and they are able to take him down.
He comes right back out. That is X-Hazard being tanky enough to just survive the turret damage. You know, it's something you have to really think about there. Do you have enough health to tank a turret?
They're trying to go aggressive here and draw Balls, and Lemon got in a little bit more. Nocturne right behind, coming in with the paranoia. He's going to throw down the terror as well, and it looks like he may be able to pick up a double kill. The collateral damage and the double kill for JD Wu.
That was beautiful. Dirtnap Gaming, I was like so sure Sona was in like the worst shape of her life, getting poked by Caitlyn, but it was a bait for Nocturne.
Yeah, they're really playing the mentality of this game so well right now. Going ahead 2 minutes and 14 seconds later, they are looking to take down top turret.
This is just all-out aggressive pushing. This is exactly what they wanted to do. Early to mid-game pressure. Well, I didn't say early game pressure, but it turns out their lanes won really hard. But getting a lot of early turret pressure, making all the mid-game moves, and I want to point out really good communication right there. They had the turret to half, they had minion waves, and they backed off because, guys, jungler mid's MIA.
Yeah, no vision.
Exactly.
Super no vision. Everybody was coming out of base. Great call on that. Prolly returning to his lane. Let's go across the board here. 54 to 40. He's up by 14. Like you said, it's going to help him out a little bit, but the lane's still even. Eve does have that, the assist on her kill, so that's going to pick up a few more CS in numbers, if you will.
Yeah, it probably is up in gold a little bit. We had that on your screen just a second ago. You know, you really got to say, Dirtnap Gaming has the early game lead. You can't, you know, say anything else about it. But the late game scaling is eventually going to be there here for Meat Playground.
X-Hazard again forced back, just trying to use his abilities to really farm right now. 62 in this game. Very aggressive play by DNG here. As they switch the lanes back, they're not going as hard on that turret. They did prep it a little bit, Freak, if they ever want to take it down, take a dragon, or lose a fight. So they're kind of giving themselves a lot of options and openings to do things here.
That's absolutely true, and you're seeing actually the jungles go back to their respective teams as well. Arthlon just getting the golem buff, running himself back to lane, probably actually making his own roam move here. He might just go for the Wraith Steal, but he actually might go for a gank. They did set up that top lane to start pushing down. If you look at the minions, it's actually going to start going down toward Dirtnap's turret, which will leave Caitlyn available. And there we go, they're going for the push.
Crescendo comes in. Oh my god, absolutely obliterated. Lemon God, the second to go. Do they have what it takes? His blood boils on. It could get him out just in time. The power cord leaves him with about 50 HP, and they are going to have to back off. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, 7-2 here, Dirtnap Gaming versus Meat Playground. Freak, a great game so far.
All right, and we just got word that One Trick Ponies came through on that one, so whether you were on stream A the whole time, the winner here, once again, the winner of this game is moving through. Actually, Arthlon taking some punishment in mid, just making sure that's all okay. So once again, the winner here is coming out of the group, joining Fear and everyone else.
Oh, Chris getting taken down bottom. This will be the second time he was dove. If he can make it out of this one alive, it's going to be a lot better of a situation, and that does not suck. He gets a kill for himself. X-Hazard, however, picks up the retribution.
Go, but you can just see how fearsome Chris is, and imagine him on Riven, his best champion.
Oh my gosh.
You already see him, you know, only 19 minions, had like the worst 1v2 of his life, and is still coming out, turning up kills in these battles.
He's having a pool party down there by himself. Probably just trying to push out this mid and continue to roam. That, like we said, that change of phase for him, just give him that movement speed, and he can go from lane to lane. Another turret being taken down here. They have wiped all 3 outer turrets in 10 minutes.
That is a beautiful situation there. This is just everything Dirtnap Gaming wants, and this is really where their composition comes into full swing. They've all got their ultimates now. The cooldowns, except for, I mean, you've got a little bit of time left on Prophet, but for the most part, their cooldowns are about to come all back up in their ultimates. This could be theirs pretty cleanly. The rest of this mid-game push is pretty much theirs, I think.
That was great, a great read there. They backed off of the dragon. They didn't have time to pull out enough, and they have quite low mana bars here. JD Wu does have Smite up, so if they try to get a quick attempt on anything that goes down here, he'll be able to help, but it looks like they will both back off. Freak. These teams now know that the fighting phase is coming into fruition. People are going to be taking each other out quite quickly. We just saw Graves take someone out in 0.5 seconds, and here's the dive right here onto JD Wu. They get him down to half health, taking advantage of that low mana bar, and you can just see what is driving their bloodthirst.
Yeah, well, they need to do something here, Meat Playground, to kind of stabilize this game. If they can kind of draw attention different places on the map, and kind of, especially if they do these battles where like Nocturne doesn't have mana and some of the spells are down, they had a little bit of window without Crescendo up, you know, they have to do something. Meat Playground can't just be passive here in the mid game, basically. That they are aware that they're behind a little bit, that they want to get, you know, Evelyn to a situation where she can roam or get to the point where Caitlyn has real items. But right now, 11 minutes in, you know, with only a Vamp Scepter on Caitlyn, they need to distract. They need to get the enemy team away from their turrets.
And we need to see more wards from Meat Playground right now. After the laning phase, Nocturne becomes even scarier. You see him even less, so you do not know where he is. Right now, Meat Playground has 0 offensive wards, and there are 3 offensive wards from Dirtnap Gaming in their jungle. So the wards that do have to be placed are extra far away because of that Nocturne gank. And here it is, NK Inc. coming in, trying to get that aggression down with the Resonating Strike. Looks like he has to back off there. Very low here, the poke now to come out from Dirtnap Gaming. I don't know why they would try to go for that dragon. They throw down the Paranoia. They go right onto Balls. They know they can't save the AD carry. They quickly drop Lee Sin, and it is going to be a quick turnaround here. Hazard doing quite a bit of damage. Balls left on the outside to just attack all away. Probably finds the kill at blue onto Eve, and it looks like they'll be able to clean this one up, Freak. Here comes Probably from the backside, and they repinch onto the fight. Should be a dragon.
Well, that was a really, really nice battle there. 4 for nothing completely. And you just saw the explosive damage. Lee Sin was already low. A Nocturne actually, despite stepping onto a trap, he paranoid to Caitlyn, and then from that location landed Dustbringer onto Lee Sin. That was how he got the kill off. That was a really, really nice play. And that was just a sort of a cleanup crew fight where no one was healthy enough to kind of deal with that situation. Again, Dirtnap up in gold quite a lot. It was a very good fight for them.
Yeah, super ultimate there, forcing Lee Sin with 100 health to safeguard in. You know, not something you want to make him do, but he had to, and almost came up with something. 12-3, 13 minutes into the game, and Dirtnap Gaming Freak is making this look quite definitive. They've come out very strong. The AD composition, just with that AD being cheaper, these guys are taking advantage.
Exactly. It's one of the big changes of Season 3 was basically refactoring what different stats cost in the game. Attack speed became more expensive, attack damage became cheaper, and armor and magic just became more expensive. So being a pure damage source improved you, and especially if you were attack damage ability based. AD carries, people like Caitlyn and Graves, they were kind of more or less left the same because yeah, attack speed got worse, but so did armor, and attack damage got better. It kind of washes out. But guys like Olaf, guys like Nocturne, guys like Jace, they got a better situation out of it.
We'll see the Bloodthirster being the favorite item right now for DNG. None of those Black Cleavers even being built towards, and we have the Phage being built onto Nocturne. So these guys are looking to keep the fights in their realm. They know they have a lot of chase to deal with here. There's a lot of fight disengage coming from Meat Playground and the Rupture, the Silence, the Caliber Net, and Lemon God doing whatever he can to slow the team. So I like the chase that DNG is putting on their team, or rather the slows.
Absolutely. This is a team that is very much about, yeah, we can do some initial damage, but you have to make sure you can follow up. That is very, very important. You know, since none of them are like Evelynn or Katarina or Kha'Zix, where they get a kill and they just get closer to you as a result because their cooldowns come back. They need a way to actually chase you down, and you know, making that happen is really, really important.
Great poke damage, and this is where, Freaky said, that mid-game, the poke damage comes into fruition for them. They're more than happy to fight an explosion at 6, an explosion at 11, and they're actually, quite a few of them just about to hit that level 11 as well. We do have 94 CS to Caitlyn's 107, so we have seen Balls kind of come back on top in that factor, and like you said, if they play the clock right, they get Caitlyn to late game, that's where it's going to help.
She's starting to crest there a little bit. Certainly she's behind Graves, but going for that Infinity Edge is a very important pickup. But they're onto the turret. This pressure will not give up.
The Undertow continuously thrown through the gate. The Shock Blast exploding onto Meat Playground. And then you can see that poke. Jace doesn't even have a Brutalizer on him yet. Looks like he is going for one, or possibly quickly for the last Whisper to leave someone else to buy the Cleaver and stack that Armor Pen. We'll have to see what the builds are. They feel fully in control. You see their play, it's calm, it's collected, and they're not trying to do anything that's going to put them in a dangerous spot. This could be one of those, though. JD Wu staying in. They're not tanking the turret quite yet. He missed that Duskbringer, which kind of helped them in that situation, but continuous pressure.
Exactly. This is the name of the game for this team. It's just pressure, and if they go in, they have very good counter engagement, right? If Meat Playground dives in, they have Sona's Crescendo. They have a face full of Buckshot from Graves, and honestly, they can always just run through that Jace gate as well. It is going to be very hard to pin down Dirtnap Gaming.
You see them still trying to turn and poke here. They see what the wards are giving them. There are 0 wards for Meat Playground in their own jungle right now. The 3 offensive wards have just grabbed Dirtnap. Another kill, a solo for the 5.
That was great overall. It's 13-3 now, and I mean, they could think about Baron. I mean, theoretically, it's up and they have map control, but they don't need to risk anything like that. They honestly are just going to play the same game over and over again. They've got a push team, and they are ahead, so they should keep pushing.
And they're even pink warding mid lane. They're giving themselves every advantage. Every door is open to move to the next step that is going to better their game right now. 27,000 to 18.6. Ink trying to put down a little bit of harass. He does find Echo alone. A beautiful split here on DNG. It looks like one may go down. Prophet throws out the Crescendo, so he loses the ultimate. You're going to see Chris come in here, so the ultimate wasted. Nobody could go down. Prophet will not go down. Yes, he does. Back and forth. They're trying to save each other, and this could be scary. If DNG thinks that one can save after the other, they're going to continuously fall. That may happen. No, Chris keeps himself alive. There's way too much damage from collateral damage. Proudly, they come into the fight to start cleaning up, and MP has to turn tide here. X-Hazard says, we can do this as Balls gets taken down to about 10% HP. Ink is running with a sliver of health. JD Wu capitalizing on that kill, and these fights are all across the map right now. X-Hazard finding himself in a pretty sore position. He will be bursted down here, Freak, and Meat Playground looked very strong on that. Could get over this. No, he's going to try to get some Baron to do damage. Baron will take him out, unfortunately, and you can see the smile on his face there.
That was a nice attempted bait, though. Oh my gosh, Evelynn just shows up, gets 500 gold, does get the assist for it. Nice play, Arthalon. But that was actually a really smart move by Hazard, because 3 of the 4 remaining members of that team could not chase into the Baron pit. Graves, and I believe Olaf and Jace were all too low to walk into Baron and survive a counterattack from Baron Nashor himself. So it had to beat, okay, let Nocturne go for it. okay, yeah, aggro Baron walk out. And that was very well orchestrated there by Dirtnap Gaming.
Sweet fight. I was really scared for a second. I thought it was going to be the I think I can mentality. I think I can save this person. Oh, shit,
yeah.
We lost him. I think I can save this person. Oh, we lost them. But Chris got out somehow. He was doing it with Shen last game. It's like watching Dyrus covered in oil. Just slips out of every situation.
Just what, lathered Crisco on him and just like, no, can't catch me.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to
Gingerbread
watch Dyrus
man.
covered in oil.
Wow. So Chris being the gingerbread man, no one could catch him. The food puns are going to keep coming, man, I'm telling you. Meat Playground looking for a tasty treat, couldn't quite get it. But 16-5, man, Dirtnap Gaming, like, just over and over, they just need to keep pushing. That's all they need to do.
So the gold lead now 9,000 by Dirtnap Gaming. 5 turrets to 0. They are playing a true game of turret defense right now. 19 minutes into the game. We said it was 16-5. And that demanding lead is 7 kills to Graves right now. Echo doing such an amazing job for his team with 5 going on to Nocturne as well, which helps even more because one of your biggest, tankiest initiators can take that fight to himself.
Absolutely, man. Like, this lineup is honestly tanky enough that they're pretty much able to deal with most situations. That, you know, this Dirtnap Gaming squad can come up and actually just take down X-Hazard as a group if they need to, and if someone gets jumped on, they have pretty good tools for getting away and not losing someone important.
Here we go. Just complete control of the jungle, slowly biding their time. Not fixing it if it isn't broken. Like we said, they're not putting themselves in the dangerous situation. They're not trying to dive past inhibitors. Clear-cut wins are the way that Dirtnap Gaming wants to go here. And it looks like we're going to have a quick clear mid, and if not, a push down mid, a Baron focus.
Okay, well, here we go. Frawley leading the charge. This is going to be theirs. Once again, Baron just... I don't think it's on the plate here for Dirtnap Gaming. When you're ahead this far, you don't secure it by getting Baron. You secure it by pushing the base.
Exactly.
Frawley moving in. They see everyone else here. Hazard coming from the back.
Looks like they will get pushed out. The Rupture goes down, but Cho'Gath trying to make it in the base will take a good amount of poke. The Bloodthirst rises now for DNG. They see those low health bars. Eve just on the outside, trying to clear out the minions. Not the worst siege stopping capabilities from Meat Playground, but they do have to get themselves out there for poke, which is a disadvantage.
Exactly. The engagement range for Frawley here is much, much larger than any other ability outside of Caitlyn's ultimate on Meat Playground. So anytime they wave clear, Frawley has a chance at damage.
They're just milling on this front step right here. That one trap is there. The person to land in that could have a sorry day. It's going to be JD Wu. Will they focus it? No, he takes it and walks out. They know they can't even aggress onto a crowd control straight under their turret.
But I got to hand it to Dirtnap Gaming, though. Yeah, they do not want to dive on a turret here. Exactly what you just said. Like, the patience there and the... Not patience, but the word for regimen, like being able to control yourself properly, fill in the blank, whatever the word you're looking for. But, you know, being able to be reserved and say, no, we don't need to dive this. We know we're going to win if we play it smart and don't get reckless. That's what happens here. Now, Meat Playground, they've got one ace in the hole. Well, they've got 2. One of them literally has the ability ace in the hole, and that's Caitlyn, and the other one is Evelynn. Evelynn, no matter how bad this starts, she's going to scale through this game. She's going to be a big asset here. Arthalon is always going to be relevant, no matter the situation. Balls is having a pretty good game as well.
Arthalon almost getting caught out. Balls forced to have to walk away from that situation. The Terror is down, and it only took a few hits once Prowley and Echo got there. And you will see these two continuously tearing through the fight. 7-1 and 5, 5-0 and 6. Jason Graves completely carrying this game for Dirtnap.
And that is an absolutely great situation to be in because they do scale so very, very well. Both of them can play ranged AD carry style. You've got Bloodthirster and a Phantom Dancer together on Graves. He's going to be putting out so much damage, and you do not yet have a completed item. Caitlyn is about 1,000, no, actually only about 300 gold away from Infinity Edge. It's very close to the time where she's really useful.
There's the turret down. Jace on blue buff, so he is continuously poking out, and they choose to back. They really don't even have that much of their jungle to grab or anything. This is kind of a stalemate until that next objective. Slow but sure is going to win the race for Dirtnap Gaming here. 22 minutes in, and we do see that gold on the screen. A lot of 8,000 gold for both Nocturne and Graves themselves. Jace just behind that at 7,000 gold as well. These guys, 6,000. 6,000 is their closest coming from balls on the other team, so they are quite behind. 10,000 altogether, Freak. This is bad news bears.
It is bad news bears. That apparently bear shirt or hat you think he's wearing, I still think it's a Wolfman, but it is bad news. You know,
Yeah.
it's a scary situation. Once again, you know, all I can say is it is Meat Playground's time to just get themselves to late game status. Evelyn and Caitlyn need to just put in the backpacks, throw everyone inside of them, and just trek uphill and make those games happen. We've seen late game comebacks happen. It is absolutely a possibility. A misstep would be nice, but if they can wait long enough for Caitlyn to be a superpower, that's what they need. She's got Infinity Edge. It's their first time.
Finally getting back to base. I don't see the upgrade for Home Guard anywhere, so it's going to make it even harder for them once this poke damage comes through to get themselves to the fountain and come back. That's one of those situations that can many times get yourself killed when you want to get that last shot in. Somebody is just watching you out of the corner of their eyeballs, very close up front. They can get poke onto Lee Sin. Once again, they'll probably paranoia onto Caitlyn. We see Balls having to back up here. They see that. They go straight for the inhibitor damage.
And it's going to be theirs. I mean, they're just using the AD carries to sit in the background. You're going to see both Jace, or all three really, Jace, Sona, and Graves. Their job is hitting structures every time there's a possibility for it. You tend to not want your melee champions in range there. You don't want to ever risk a bad engage, and you're kind of seeing them dance back and forth. JD Wu's kind of around there. Chris is poking a little bit, but they're mostly relying on the range champions just for damage output from a safer location. That's the right way to do it.
This is where it's coming in so hard for you. This is the thing I poked at in the beginning. Actually, they're going in quite hard on this onto Nunu. They're going to be able to back off, but what I was saying is that one push right before they took down the inhibitor there, it looked like Meat Playground was just going to rupture, go in, and start their ultis. But they all have to get close. Nunu would have to walk into the damage. They all have to get close to do what they want and just pretty much all in. It's making it very hard.
It is very, very difficult overall. There's just such great control here from Dirtnap Gaming. They're playing from the optimal range. They're not playing too aggro. And it's actually a fine line to tread, because on one side, you want to make sure you can actually close the game out. We nearly saw that in Epic, in our second match of the day. It was Epic against Team Tower Dive TV, where Tower Dive TV had a huge advantage 25 minutes in and nearly threw the game away. You have to make sure you don't do that either.
Oh man, there is the absolute zero going off. He threw it and got not, or just actually turned it off. I think he thought they might have been coming in. A very good engage here. The crescendo goes down, but there's a lot of focus onto just Prowly and Sona. It looks like they're going to be able to back up here. They take down the AD carry. This is all between Chris and JD Wu here. There's going to be a lot of damage. Ink goes down trying to chase his team. A beautiful collapse from Dirtnap Gaming. They stop Baron as well as continue the chase, and this is why they have those abilities. Unfortunately, Olaf is down. They get the terror down that's necessary to drop X Hazard. They go 5 for 2, or 5 for 0, 1 for 3, I should say.
There we go.
But that was an amazing. There's numbers in there somewhere.
There are. And I think if you added and subtracted together, you would get the numbers.
I was looking for it.
Yeah, you got it. It's fine.
Yeah. But just wow.
Perfect. But anyway, the fight went amazingly. Chris did sacrifice himself for that battle, but at this point, the jungler is down. There's no flash on Nunu, so I don't even see a chance at a steal here. Meat Playground not in a good place to get this Baron. Dirtnap Gaming for the first time. This is the right time to go for Baron. 4v2, it's a possibility here for Meat Playground, but I don't see this fight going well.
So here we see Meat Playground just trying to poke at them with the poke they don't have. That short-range team is not going to be able to do anything to deter a Baron attempt, and Dirtnap Gaming just picks up a huge lead. They're going to be looking at 41,000 gold to 29,000. 20-6 here, 26 minutes into the game. We've had a kill a minute. Thanks for making it interesting, guys.
Absolutely, and these guys are just putting on such a wonderful show as well. At first glance, DNG's lineup looked a little bit ragtag, right? You know, no one's a really hardcore poke champion that isn't Jace.
Yeah.
You know, they banned Needly, and they're like, no, it's a poke comp, but it's a poke comp without Needly, and it's a poke comp without, like, Janna or, like, disengaged tools, right? But it was like, we're going to rely on Undertow and Shock Blast. Okay. We're going to run Graves. Huh? But it's working, right? They're getting the right battles. They've got a super fed AD carry, which works with any comp, to be fair, but they're getting just the right amount of poke. They're getting people off their turrets and then following up with good damage. You know, it looked a little bit sketchy in Champion Select, but they're making it work completely. Dirtnap Gaming, honestly, they are 2 minutes of perfect play away from making it into that quarterfinal.
Indeed they are. We've had a lot of amazing matches going on today, all with very high kills, just like the one we're looking at now. These teams have just formulated strats to understand where to place the aggression in the perfect time in the game. The lane swap, as we take it back and just figure out what happened to this, as Ink kind of takes some harassment here as he goes in. He may even be dove under the turret here. That shock blast missing, but they're not going to care. No, they decide to back off. But yeah, the beginning of this match, it was a swap, there was a steal, and the swap ultimately went in favor of Dirtnap Gaming. It really escalated it from that 3rd, 4th minute in the game.
And the funny thing is, look at Chris. He's got 46 minion kills. He has probably got less gold than anyone else on his team, and it just does not matter.
Yeah, he has 46. We actually saw this happen to Shen Xin lane in that first game that actually hurt Xin, but somehow Chris is making it through on this one. He's got himself the Glacial Shroud, and he went health to stop the burst that can come from this Meat Playground team, and he's mitigated it perfectly. You see them trying to go on this turret again, and Freak, as you said before, that peace of mind to not push yourself over the edge.
This is actually really important there, because right now they just blew Arthalon's ultimate. Evelyn, the big burst tool, it's down, and now it's time for the sustain. They've got Baron buff and Sona, and Dirtnap Gaming is pretty healthy again.
They're looking, JD Wu is just looking to get that terror on somebody. Tether him down with the fear. The rupture goes out. Chris takes that happily. Probably will be right there taking some damage. It looks like X Hazard wanted that, but the team called it back. So even Meat Playground communicating very quickly right now.
Oh man, the poke once again. Its ball's getting dropped below half health, and that is not the best place for them. The inhibitor, they're going for it. A couple attacks to go, and that's now 2 inhibitors down.
There's the crescendo going out. Do they try to capitalize? No, it's just going to be to disengage on this one. They've been partying at the front door of Meat Playground's base for the last 9 minutes, besides the Baron that they had to go and grab, and they're going to continue to do it after pushing this bottom wave. Dirtnap Gaming using the AD carry composition to their full potential, really just piercing through any armor that Meat Playground's trying to build now. It's just a little too late.
Yeah, and now with that inhibitor in the middle respawning, they're just going to go for it right away. NK Inc is there, but he only tags Chris. He actually stands there and laughs in the face of Cho'Gath and refuses to give a single care this game.
No, there they go, continuously pushing. And Freak, I really like what Jason Graves did. Prolly and Echo both building Last Whispers on top of the Black Cleaver from Nocturne to Dustbringer the team, and then give those guys that stack of armor penetration. So they've chosen to itemize in that direction.
It's a really, really smart choice overall. They're dealing with a potential armor stack.
And there it is, the dive in coming from Nocturne. Prolly able to get a killing spree. Arthalon forced to flash out of the fight, and all of the summoners are used defensively for Meat Playground to save themselves. That is not going to win you the fight. Another kill coming up for Echo, trying to make it out alive. Blows the exhaust as well and makes it just out of the Absolute Zero. I think he flashed just for caution, but he was out. And they are going to take down the inhibitor for what looks like a definitive final push, Freak.
And here we go, the last of the minions falling down. 3 inhibitors are gone. It's just a Caitlyn alone. She has good damage, but at this point, I don't think it's going to be enough. Drop below half health, exhausted. This is going to be theirs. Dirtnap Gaming, beautiful play by them.
And there you go, Meat Playground does find themselves in that elimination position. The last Nexus turret goes down, an ace in the hole to solidify a kill for himself. As the game comes to an end, they are focusing right down in the inhibitor, and there you see, it is going to be Dirtnap Gaming coming up with a win as they go 2-1.
That was absolutely
2-0.
2-0. 2-0 is the score.
Yes.
These guys with an immaculate record here, very, very